Hello guys, it's 2019 and it's time to kick off the year with a bunch of new games that have just been released on Android and iOS. So we have this list of the best new games for those two platforms, and let's get started with a really cool retro style game, Beat Cop. Beat Cop is a police adventure game that is all about being a cop in the NYPD in the 80s. It's all sorts of crazy and chaotic, from writing parking tickets to helping citizens get rid of a dead body, to encounters with drug dealers on the block and car theft calls. All of that comes in a point-and-click adventure game style and flavored with some fun characters. Number 2. Stardew Valley. One of the most high quality and addictive releases so far this year, Stardew Valley is a must if you enjoy gaming and don't mind spending endless hours with a very rewarding gaming experience. The story is all about running your own farm that your grandfather passed to you in a quite nasty state. You grow the crops, water them, sell, and then invest the money to expand. And it's all awesomely complicated with a ton of skills, sub-skills, plants, and livestock, almost like a mini world you have to manage on your own. But farming is far from everything here. You have an open world with people to meet and enemies to fight, and a few other activities. Number 3. Arcane Quest Legends. You might have heard about the Arcane Quest series of games, and if not, this is the third one in the family, and it's a turn-based strategy game with role-playing elements, or put simply, it's a Diablo-like game. Unlike the majority of such games on mobile, however, this one is not ruined by ads, timers, and all the rest of the beautiful strategies that game developers throw at you after an hour or so of gameplay. You get the whole first act of the game for free, while the second and the third ones are available as in-app purchases. The game is fun, dynamic, and it's worth checking out. Number 4. Ghost Town Defense. Ghost Town Defense is a game that combines three genres into one: tower defense, strategy, and role-playing as an evil ghost attacks your city. Your job is to arm yourself with weapons to shoot and build the towers to resist the attacks as an evil king army is approaching. Next up we have Alien Blackout. If you're a fan of the Alien series, you will not need much of an incentive to try this game, but it's worth it even if you're not. In this horror game you play as Amanda Ripley, daughter of Alien series main character Ellen Ripley, and you're on a station, and of course there is an alien here on board. The goal is to direct a crew of 4 to repair their ship so that all of you can flee, but you run into trouble along the way. Next up we have Space Justice Galaxy Shooter. A classic arcade shooter placed in the futuristic world of the 23rd century, Space Justice lets you take control of your personal battle cruiser to go on a bullet hell battle against rivals' spaceships. You can upgrade your ship with weapons, drones, and use other tactics, and there is a player versus player mode as well. Next up we have Ares Virus. A top-down shooter in 2 dimensions, Ares Virus takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where the Ares virus is unleashed and hordes of zombies come out, plus resources are getting depleted. In this scarcity, your only option is to fight your way to survival. Next up we have Old School RuneScape. Old School RuneScape is a true embodiment of a classic MMORPG game, and is an absolute champion in keeping you glued to the screen for hours on end, and that's a warning. The game has a giant fan base across the globe, some of which dates back to the release of the original way back in 2001, more than 17 years ago. Originally started as a browser game, it has now made its way onto both Android and iOS, and the cool thing about this game is that it sticks to the successful formula of the original without the often annoying flux of updates that comes with most other games. There is a free version, but if you get hooked, you will need to pay an $11 monthly subscription or pay a few months and get that down to as low as $8 a month. So the game itself starts with you building your character on an island, and then you have nearly complete freedom to pursue anything and everything from a skill to a challenge. This freedom is definitely addictive. The one complaint with the mobile version is of course just not as comfortable to play on a smaller device like a phone, but it's definitely possible, so if this sounds interesting, give it a try. Next up we have Candies and Curses. This new arcade action game puts you in the shoes of a character named Molly, challenged to visit a nearby haunted mansion, which, surprise surprise, is packed with ghosts. Molly fights the ghost with her flashlight and the game is played in portrait mode, which is very convenient on a phone. The whole idea is to go between floors and kill as many ghosts as possible to keep your kill streak at its maximum, and eventually you will reach the boss fight, and after that you can advance to the next level. The game, however, is filled with ads and constantly reminds you about in-app purchases, which is definitely not fun. We guess that's the price most games pay these days, unfortunately. Next up we have Hit the Light. Hit the Light is a new brick breaker puzzle game. Each level in the game is a carefully crafted picture made entirely out of neon lights. Your job is to demolish them using different tools, each with their own unique characteristics. A bomb breaks everything within the parameter of the explosion. A ninja star slashes through everything in its way and bounces off the level's walls, while metal balls ricochet against the neon objects. Unlike a traditional pinball flipper type of a game here, you don't have a paddle and the balls don't come back, but instead you have a limited amount of shots with each tool. And last, but definitely not least, is a game that is fun but also kind of annoying. Angry Birds Dream Blast. One of the biggest launches of January 2019 is without a doubt the new Angry Birds Dream Blast, which is a bubble popper type of game with a rainbow of colors and a very cute look. But really, once you start playing, you realize how game studio Rovio is milking the last bits of the Angry Birds idea. The game is made with a clear pay-to-win strategy, so it's almost impossible to advance after a certain point in the game without spending real cash for boosts. And when a game is so obviously made with profit and not fun in mind, it gets a thumbs down from us. So that's it guys, a quick list of the best new games for Android and iOS in the beginning of 2019. Which one of these is your favorite? Let us know in the comments right below. Thanks for watching this video, subscribe for more, and I will talk to you in the next one.